This is the Kham River in the historic city of Aurangabad in Maharashtra, recently renamed as Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar. What was once the capital of the Deccan region for the Mughal Empire is now one of the fastest growing industrial towns in western India. And the river has been an integral part of its historical journey. The Kham River is 65 kilometers long, starting from the Jatwada hills and cuts across the town for 11 kilometers, marking the urban portion of the river. According to the city-based environmentalist Dilip Yardi, Kham River once supported a thriving natural water resource for the locals and the ecosystem around it.
In 72, when we had started birdwatching on banks of the Kham River, we could note 120 different species of the birds that time. There are 2-3 places there birds used to roost. I can say that lots of plants, right from micro plants, algae, then fruiting plants, seasonal plants, perennial plants, we could see in this area.
But over the years, rapid urbanization and industrial development has degraded this seasonal river into a sewage drain, slowly destroying the flora and fauna around it.
Human residence day by day, daily by daily was increasing. There is no drainage system, and the river is the lowest part of that area. So whatever they used to throw in their premises, after some years or some days, by use a hook or crook, used to come in river, and from then the river became a nala. It doesn't stay as a river.
Most local residents like Rama Abade living next to it are also ironically unaware that the sewage flowing next to their settlements was once a natural river and would continue dumping their garbage into it.
पहले तो बहुत गंदी थी नदी. पहले नदी तो जैसा पुल भी नहीं था, सब लोग संडास बाथरूम भी नहीं थे इधर किसके तरफ, सब समझो लैटरिंग वो करने को इधर ही आते थे. ऊपर के पूरी जो बस्ती सब इधर आती थी, क्योंकि जब परिस्थिति वैसी थी.
Apart from domestic waste, large amounts of industrial and agricultural waste were also being disposed of into the water body. The increasing levels of pollution was also affecting the industries set up around the city and their employees. Embarrassed by the presence of such a large scale of waste at the entry of the city, local automotive manufacturing company Varroc Engineering began the cleanup of the river in 2017 as part of their corporate social responsibility.
Varroc has started from Aurangabad, the Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar. First plant of Varroc started from this place. So business is started from Aurangabad. Today we have 32 plants, but out of that 11 plants are in Aurangabad. So our chairman always wanted to give something back to the society. This was his philosophy. If you see this pilot project, this is the entry of Aurangabad and exit of Aurangabad also. And whenever whosoever used to come from Pune or from the Pune-Nagpur road, they used to see this all garbage is lying here and foul smell. No one was even able to pass from this place because this place has become a garbage yard. When initially we had a long discussion, we visited the site and this appealed to our chairman and he said, let us participate in the project. So initially we have taken a pilot project of 1.5 kilometers from both the sides of this bridge. Initial work was only cleaning of all the dumped garbage. We have removed almost more than 1,000 trucks of garbage from this place.
However, managing waste at scale proved to be difficult over time and needed expert hand-holding. In the year 2019, the task of managing solid waste along with restoring the river officially commenced, with Varroc partnering with the local non-profit Eco Sattva, whose focus lies in solving large-scale civic issues like green cover management, water body restoration and solid waste management.
So the Kham River, like most rivers, like 90% of the rivers in our country is a seasonal river, and like most rivers has sewage flowing through it, garbage flowing through it, encroachments. The boundaries were not marked out. It was also a space used for dumping of debris. So every time a house or a building is being broken down, all that C&D waste needs to be transported somewhere. The closest place is the riverfront, because it's also the place that was most neglected. If you had to look at all the problems of our city, you could see them in a concentrated format, along the river. Nobody wanted to look at it. It was, there would be a stink. People would just run across from that place, and dead animals, where do you throw them? You throw them into the Nala. So that was the situation.
EcoSattva at once started with a baseline study of the 11.5 kilometer stretch of the river that flows through the city using drone cameras.
So the three key problems that we noticed during that study was, first was the pollution, the solid waste and the liquid waste that was coming into the river. The second was the lack of connect between the river and people. So when we did a study of, some 700 residents in market areas to make sure that they were from all across the city, some 36% were aware that there was the Kham River in the city somewhere. Everyone else thought it was the Nala, not even the Kham Nala, even the name didn't exist. So that disconnect was definitely a big, big problem. And then the last thing was also the lack of spaces for that connect to happen.
So what does it take to solve a complex ecological problem of reviving a river in an urban landscape?
So the key to these complex civic environmental challenges is understanding their various components and knowing which ones to take on first. So riverfront spaces where we could identify through the drone photo and our on-field which spaces were not encroached and that could be restored quickly. So that's how it was decided that we'll start the work here, we'll show a transformation. That should be a hook for more people to get interested, for the corporation to get interested, for other government bodies to get interested, to then help us do more.
The riverfront has since transformed into a beautifully designed eco-park with an amphitheatre and a play zone for the urban community living next to the river.
हम हमारे बच्चे रोज़ यहाँ पे खेलने के लिए लाते हैं। मेरा बेबी जो अभी 2.5 ईयर का है वो भी यहाँ पे रोज़ खेलता है। सब बच्चे उनके साथ खेलते हैं। पहले यहाँ पे मतलब खड़े रहने के लिए भी अच्छा नहीं लगता था। अभी उसी जगह पे मेरे बच्चे हम सब उसके फ्रेंड्स सब आते हैं, खेलते हैं। जो बुज़ुर्ग है वो बैठते हैं। इसके ये सब फ़ायदा हुए उसके।
The team encountered the complicated issue of sewage early into their work. What an initial assessment revealed was that there were about 250 inlet points from where the city's sewage was flowing directly into the river instead of going into the underground sewage system. This had to be fixed.
In some cases, cross connection has not been done. In some cases, there's a leakage. There's a genuine breakdown of a pipe and there is leakage happening and that needs to be fixed. In some cases, intentionally connections have been broken. Maybe there was a choke up that didn't get fixed and so to let the water out, a pipe has been intentionally damaged. So that's what I mean by monitoring, is to have a sight on where leakage is happening, why it's happening, and then having a team, again a monitoring maintenance team, that's constantly fixing the underground drainage networks.
The sewage had other entry points, like at the downstream of the river, which was its most polluted part. The municipal authorities opted for smaller decentralized sewage treatment plants in the upstream of the river to tackle this.
Rather than having a centralized plant of sewerage downstream, we have to have a decentralized sewage treatment plants upstream. One sewage treatment plant will be functional in 7 days, that is almost 2 crore liters per day. So that 2 crore liters, once it comes on the river, then the river will be clean.
आपले छत्रपती संभाजीनगर स्वच्छ व सुंदर ठेवण्यासाठी आपल्या महानगरपालिकेला सहकार्य करा. लक्षात ठेवा.
41-year-old Sunil Depe and his colleagues are out on their rounds of garbage collection. They are part of the 280-strong sanitation workers team in Aurangabad, doing door-to-door collections on a daily basis. Responsible for segregating waste and spreading awareness about it, they are the key drivers in keeping the garbage away from the river today.
5:30 पावणे 6 आमची गाडी निघते. 6 वाजता ॲक्टिक जिथं जे आमचं आहे श्रीकृष्णनगर त्या पॉईंटवर आमची गाडी लागून जाते 6 वाजता. मग लोकांना माहिती आहे 6ला इथं लागते. मग तसं आम्ही रूट मॅप बनवलेलं आहे की 6 वाजता येते, 7 वाजता येते, 8 वाजता येते, 9 वाजता येते, 10 वाजता येते. तर एखादं जर नाही हुकलं एखाद्या वेळेस कोणी जॉबवाले असले मग ते बाहेर ठेवतात, आम्हाला फोन करतात की आम्ही बाहेर ठेवलेले आज आम्ही जॉबवर चालले, आम्ही घेऊन टाकतो. आम्ही जर चाललो बी आणि कोणी जर दिसलं बी आम्हाला की बाबा थैली घेऊन आम्ही त्याला थांबवतो, या इकडं आमच्या गाडीमध्ये टाका, आम्ही त्याला समजून सांगतो.
आपल्याला कचरा टाकल्यामुळं मच्छर, मलेरिया, डेंग्यू याच्या सगळ्याला आपल्याला सामना करावा लागतो.
Just like Sunil, resident leaders like Rama Abade continue to re-emphasize the need for segregation through various awareness programs.
उससे ऐसा फ़ायदा हो गया कि नदी में जो पानी पूरा जो मिक्स कचरा आता लोग डालते, समझो इधर पुल के ऊपर बोलो कचरा कुंडी पे जो पानी बह के आता तो डायरेक्ट वो नदी में आता है न, तो कचरा पूरा बह के पूरा नदी पूरी खराब हो जाती है. उससे पूरा कचरा 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 ऐसा तुमता है. उनको बोलते हैं कि पर्यावरण को अपना पर्यावरण है, आपने को यहाँ रहना है, अपने बाल बच्चे छोटे छोटे, अपन ही नहीं ये करेंगे तो फिर लोग भी वैसे ही करेंगे. अपन ही उसकी का ध्यान रखना चाहिए. अपन ने कचरा डालना नहीं चाहिए, मिक्स देना नहीं चाहिए. इधर डालेंगे तो अपनी नदी अपना पर्यावरण इतना अच्छा है, इतने अच्छे अपनी खाम नदी इतनी प्रसिद्ध हो गई है, उससे अपने कुछ प्रॉब्लम है.
According to the civic authorities, 80% of the city's garbage now gets segregated. And for those who are still found throwing their waste into the Kham, the administration has implemented a penalty system going up to 5,000 rupees in some cases. So far, more than 1 lakh square meters have been cleaned of waste and invasive species in and around the river. The river cleanup work has been challenging to say the least, with increasing impacts of climate change like flash floods in the last 4 years. Asadullah Khan, a resident and an officer on special duty, has to create contingencies to prevent any flooding during the monsoons in addition to the year-long cleaning work.
आता क्लायमेट चेंज झालेला आहे. पूर्ण पावसाळ्याचा पाऊस एकाच दिवस किंवा 2-3 वेळेस येतो. त्यामुळे शहराचा जो सखल भाग आहे त्या सखल भागामध्ये पाणी साचून नागरिकांच्या घरामध्ये पाणी शिरत होता. त्यामुळे वित्त व जीवितहानी व्हायची आणि पावसाचं पाणी शहरातच तुंबून राहायचं. त्यामुळे नदीला त्याचं पुनर्जीवन करून देणे आणि नदीची रुंदीकरण करणे आणि नदीची डिसिल्टिंग करणे, त्याला कठडे बांधणे हे खूप महत्त्वाचे होते.
So far, about 14,000 square meters of terrain has been restored with green covering, as nearly dozens of native species of plants have been regrown in the river's ecosystem.
See, we observe the jackals are coming back here. They feel this is a safe area for them. Birds starting roosting here again, which I told you, kites, then house crow, green pigeon, they egrets, they start again roosting in this area. They were left that area. Paradise flycatcher, which is one of the beautiful bird in India, I can say. We can see here also. This is an achievement of this project.
The biggest river restoration in India is the Namami Ganga program for cleaning up the Ganga River, which has a budget of 22,500 crore rupees. And it is still a long way from meeting its targets. Meanwhile, the cost of the Kham River project is close to 15 crore rupees for the restoration and revival work that was completed in a period of 5 years. For Eco Satwa, this is a model they'd like to adapt across the country when it comes to conserving urban rivers and the ecosystems around it.
What we're saying is that our rivers are like lifelines. They are spaces for humans, for biodiversity. And yes, we have neglected them so far, but really that's an opportunity for us to restore them to their natural conditions rather than reclaiming the land and using it for further markets or buildings or structures.
Thanks for watching Eco India. If you like the story, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Scroll.in on YouTube.